The Rowdies kicked off their home opener tonight at Tampa Bay Stadium, taking on Maryland, and the Rowdies with Jay White from Alan Anderson sets it up, and it's 1-all in the ball game as he pounds it through. Next, Steve Wegerle feeding David Hill. 2-1 Rowdies. The assist gives Wegerle the all-time scoring lead over Rodney Marsh. Back down, though, Maryland's Philip Jobe for the Bays ties the ball game at 2, trickling it past to Bose. Now, the match goes into a penalty kick shootout, something like sudden death. And 11 rounds later, goalie versus goalie, Maryland's Nick Bujoz gets it by Dubose. A little bit of a flip time. Maryland takes it, and Rodney Marsh talks about the loss.
You know, when you go to the 11th kicker in a shootout, I mean, and the goalkeepers have to kick against each other, you know, I think it's a little bit ridiculous. And, you know, it could have gone either way, obviously. Their keeper made it, Winston missed it, and that's all there is to it.
Their first win of the season, and 2, the confidence that win would give them heading into a 2-game road trip. Optimistic heading into Tampa Bay Stadium, and ironically, a header put them up on top 1-0. Alan Anderson to Martin Hill with a header at 1-0 Rowdies. Anderson comes right back down. They up the lead to 2-0. A long, low corner shot. Tampa Bay up 2-0 at the half, but in the second half, New Jersey coming on strong, taking advantage of a defensive lapse. They scored. It is 2-1 in the ball game. It comes down to a penalty kick now to tie the game, and Winston Dubose shows why he is the #1 goalkeeper in the ASL. He makes the save. The Rowdies win the ball game by a score of 2-1.
Ready to make their move in the American Soccer League, and that outdoor soccer is ready to do the same around this country. Jerry Johnson reports.
Just getting the blend right. Obviously, we don't want too many veterans, and we don't want too many young players. So if we get the blend right, we should do well.
3 games into the American Soccer League's 5-month-long season, and the Rowdies are beginning to believe in themselves. New young players like midfielder Alan Anderson, combined with veterans like Winston Dubose, Steve Wegerle, and Mark Lawrenson, make this version of the Rowdies as solid a club as this 2-year-old league has to offer.
We've had 2 games in the stadium, and there's been 7 goals, 1 penalty save, penalty shootout. So it's been good entertainment for the supporters.
I think you'll see better quality as far as in the finishing, and in the midfield. The teams that we've played so far, I think, have improved since last year, the 3 teams. So that's an indication. I think it's going to be very, very competitive.
Scoring goals and making saves, the 2 simple occurrences that bring out the fans. Those also happen to be the items that could and should make these Rowdies a major force in the rebuilding of professional soccer in America.
As long as we're a solid defensive ball club, I've always thought that we'll score goals, and I think it proved it last year. I think if we have that same type of effort defensively, we're going to give ourselves a lot more chances to score this year. I think the games, will be far better than 10-10, at least you know, I expect to be.
Rodney Marsh and the Tampa Bay Rowdies were looking for a clean sweep of the weekend work. Tonight, the Rowdies were in Orlando to take on the undefeated Lions. We gave it away. Lots of rain out there tonight. You see it, huh? First period, scoreless. Lions broke on top right here. Second period, Lilly right side beating Wegerle and DeBose. Lions take a 1-0 lead. Lions picked up another goal with about 20 seconds remaining in the game. Castor gets credit. That goal coming right here. Lions remain undefeated 5-0. Rowdies drop to 3-4. Final tonight, 2-zip Orlando.
Lead the American Soccer League Southern Division. Now the Lions take a 2-0 win. It was a scoreless game in the rain until late in the second half. Bob Lilly, gorgeous play here. The Rowdies are helpless, and they trail 1-0. Then down 2 men, Rod Castro here scores on the breakaway for Orlando. The Lions go to 5-0 with a 2-0 win. The Rowdies fall to 3-4 on the season. Saturday night, it was yet another impressive night for goalie Winston Dubose. He is certainly one of the top goalies in America. And Jerry Johnson takes a special look at Dance and Do. In fact, Jerry puts you right in the nets.
And now, the starting 11 for tonight's game. In goal, wearing number 1, Winston Dance and Do DeBose.
Don't take a lot to keep me moving. It's gonna take a lot to make me stop. I'm racing through a 5 alarm. Should slow down, but I just can't stop.
A good goalkeeper, you know, will excel. You know, you don't hear many good, quiet goalkeepers. They're usually rabbiting and talking a lot.
Well done, Paul. Well done. Well done, son. Move over if you see
In here, Paul! In here! It only keeps your players in front of you on your toes and alerts them to any impending danger, which is critical. Cut the danger out before it gets in front of you, and you've done 50% of your job.
Touchdown by Winston.
We first met Winston DuBose back in the spring of 1977. First-round draft pick by the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and in the years since, goalkeeper extraordinaire.
I think over the years, Winston DuBose has been the best goalkeeper in America. I think he's been the best American goalkeeper.
It's kind of a strange position, but I guess it takes a different kind of mental lunatic to really play, I guess, in some ways. I don't think you have to be eccentric or wild or crazy, but I think it does take a little bit of a different mindset.
Up as they go on to win the score 3-1. Rodney and the owner, Cornelia Corbett, cooling off a little bit. Temperatures hot on the field, about 105 degrees. Steve Wegerle, the penalty kick, gives the Rowdies a 1-0 lead in the ball game. But Washington comes back, and it doesn't take them long. Leonard Suzal puts it through, 1-1 the score. Watch the reaction from Rodney on the sideline. Not a happy man at all. Rodney, sit down. It's 105 degrees in the field. Meanwhile, Van de Beek, check that, pops it through for Tampa. They go on to win the ball game by a score of 3-1, keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Degrees for the Rowdies' Father's Day special against the Washington Diplomats. And no wonder only 2,200 fans showed up to melt away on a Sunday. Steve Wegerle kicked in a penalty shot right here to give the Rowdies a 1-0 lead just opening minutes after being taken down in the box. With only 2 minutes before halftime, the Dips' Omid Namazi fed Leonel Suazo for the goal that knotted it at 1-1. After a Tampa own goal made it 2-1, Martin Hill hit the post. Perry Vanderbeek followed for his very first goal since returning to the Rowdies. There's the 3-1 victory, and that will help the Rowdies' playoff hopes.
Well, I tell you, it's really good to be back, and it was a hard game. We knew that with the heat and everything like that, it was going to be tough for both teams, having them played last night. But, you know, we kept our discipline. We worked the ball around. We had a lot of chances. And, you know, we're fortunate to win 3-1.
Game has become a local sports tradition, and it was played out again tonight when an American Soccer League, a record crowd of 19,211 turned out at Tampa Stadium to see the Rowdies go for their 4th straight win against Miami. There was a big fireworks show after the game, but the most exciting point in the evening came midway through the second half when Peter Ward of the Rowdies took the pass from Jay White and headed it into the net for the only score of the night. Steve Wegerle also got credit for an assist on that play, which upped the Rowdies' record to 8-7, putting them in a first-place tie with Washington. Miami has now dropped 6 games in a row. There again, your final. Tampa Bay wins it 1-0. Well, it's share of first place tonight when they whipped the Washington Diplomats 3-1 at Tampa Stadium. Alan Anderson, who had been sidelined with a broken fibula, returned to the lineup tonight and put the Rowdies on the board first with the header 17 minutes into the game. Martin Hill and Steve Wegerle assisted on that play. The Dips tied it up 6 minutes later, but Wegerle put Tampa Bay ahead to stay when he drove this ball into the upper right corner of the Washington net at the 35-minute mark. Mark Lawrenson assisted on that one. Wegerle also gave the Rowdies an insurance goal when he scored again in the second half. The Rowdies have now won 5 in a row to join the Diplomats at the top of the Southern Division. Both teams have 9-7 records.
We played for 90 minutes tonight, which was great. We scored 3 marvellous goals, Steve Wegerle of which got 2 of them. But we played very well as a team. We competed very well against a team who, you know, as I say, we're top of the league. So we're very pleased with the results.
And the results again, the Rowdies win it 3-1.
At Tampa Stadium, a win over the Diplomats would give them a share of the ASL Southern Division lead. Well, I'll tell you, the Rowdies were keyed up tonight. David Power wasn't too pleased with the official's call, and let's face it, Davey speaks his piece all the time. He's an up-front kind of guy. Yeah, he gave it to him. The guy in the front row for the Rowdies tonight, the guy that scores right there, Steve Wegerle from long range. He had 2 goals tonight and assist. The Rowdies win their 5th in a row, folks. They now share first place in the ASL Southern Division, the final over Washington tonight, 3-1.